Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Mind Your Words podcast after dark. And here we are again, Myra and I. We're going to talk about Myra today. She has a great story to talk about her journey through running. And I'm
Yeah,
really curious, Myra, because I have to admit, watching you on social media, doing your training, it has really inspired me from even a few years ago. I remember when we were teachers and you were preparing for the marathon in Warsaw, and I was like, wow, I can't even imagine running on the streets at all. And last year I decided to do the 5K because of you, because I said, okay, if Myra can do it, I can do it. I'm not a runner ever in my life. Even when I was playing sports, I hated running. It was like my nightmare, I guess you can say, but I did it. I did the 5K last year, and now I'm just so excited for you because you're going to do the London Marathon just in a few weeks, really. So
wonderful.
tell us, first of all, how did you get into running? I'm really curious.
I don't even know how, but
How did you start running?
I started, I'll tell you this. I started running when I moved to England. Before that, I wouldn't even think about I never thought about running, nor did I like it. I remember in junior high when you have to pass the 1 mile run at a certain time. And I remember I'd do it in 15, 16 minutes. I just didn't care. I couldn't do it. And I just hated running. I just didn't find a reason why. So as I came to England at 25, and I just started noticing, you know, I didn't have a gym membership. I didn't have the money to go to the gym, and I started noticing that a lot of people would run in the park. And I lived very near to a park where I first lived, a huge park. And I started thinking, you know what? If they can do it, I think I can just start myself as well. And I just started gradually. It would be like a 10-minute run or a 15-minute run. Then I started carrying that over when I started doing my master's. And that was at my best. I don't know if I can do that, but I used to run literally about 5 to 10K a day, just a day, just get up and go. And I would do it as a daily routine because I used to take care of two dogs, um, Dylan and I can't remember the other dog's name, Kano. And I was working as a nanny then, and she had two dogs, and part of my job was to take both of them for a walk.
Wow.
Uh, but I wouldn't take them for a walk. I started running, and I would go up hills. I would. It's just amazing. I had a beautiful experience running with dogs as well, and I loved it. And I just decided to carry that through. And I mean, it doesn't matter. I think I've changed weight in time. I mean, I've gained weight, I've lost weight, I've gained weight, and somewhere in between it all, I just find myself back to running. And then I kind of started in I'm trying to think, in Warsaw. So yeah, that was in 2014. I picked it up again, and I loved it. And I would get up so early. I mean, I'm talking about 6 a.m. running around Old Warsaw and Old Warszawa. And it was so beautiful through the cobblestones, and it was so quiet through the castle, the wall. And I really have beautiful memories running through there. And the most best memories in Poland, in Warszawa, is running right by the Wisła, the river, on the old, what we say, the old Praga area. And it's so wild, right? It's all full of
Yes.
wood trees. I've run through that. I run to the end, passing the National Stadium, just keep going, and then coming back around over the bridge and back home. And that to me was like almost like a daily workout. So I have a passion for running, but I think the reason why and what keeps me going with running is music. I love music, and when I listen to music, I just zone out. And when it comes to that with the running, I really zone out. I know a lot of people start to say, "I don't have the motivation to run. I can't
Right,
run."
I get bored. But now that
Yeah,
you're describing it, like all that memory you had with running at Warsaw, I'm like, yeah, that's actually really nice way to create memories for yourself. And you said zoning out is like perfect, like Zen moment is when you're stressed out and you just need to let out your energy and just let things go. Running is an awesome way to get rid of stress.
Exactly. Stress at the world, the problems. I mean, of course, problems will always be there once you stop running, whatever. But
Can't run away from it.
yeah, yeah, financial, it's always going to be there. You're still going to have that bill. But I think running. I think I don't know. My father was athletic, and I admire that about him. He was very strong in his age, and I was also athletic actually. So not, I mean, to say I hated running, to be honest, I used to play basketball, and I played
Oh
it.
my gosh,
Yeah,
basketball is killing me. Help me.
yeah,
But I played it.
yeah, tennis as well. So running around the court, and so I think I've always been kind of in the sense athletic. I've always have been, and I just like a challenge as well. If you tell me you can't do it, I find a way to show people I can do it. And I think for me in Warsaw, I yes, it was actually half marathons, by the way. It was my first half marathon. I did two half marathons in Warsaw.
Wow.
And the first one was out of the blue. I think I had about 2 months or a month and a half of training. And I mean, I was running, but I wasn't fit. Oh, I don't know how far length. I mean, I've never had ran a half marathon in my life, and
Sure.
I was dating somebody at that time, and it was hilarious. So I said to him, you know, I'm going to run a marathon, a half marathon, and he said, no, you won't. I said,
Oh,
watch. I did it, but
yeah.
he knew that was my way of motivating me to do it, and it worked. And he was so proud of me. And he said, "I knew you'd do it. Well done." So he just teased me to get me to do it, but I did it. I chose to do it, and it was beautiful, and I had the most beautiful times there. And I always look back, and I remember then in Poland. Let's talk about stereotypes.
Yeah.
Poland, when I would tell people I run, no,
Yeah, they
no,
didn't believe you, right?
they couldn't believe me. And I said, no, I'm going to run. And so when I went, I picked my number. I was probably, and to be honest, Alicia, I wasn't even that big then to where I am now. And even then, I was getting the stares like, is this woman going to do a half marathon?
Sure.
Um, and I went, I did it. I ran nonstop, my first time nonstop at 2 hours and 55 minutes. And I was getting yelled. I was getting so many women cheering for me, like in Polish, brava, you know, like just keep going. And they were so like clapping in my face. They were so happy to see me running. I mean jogging or whatever, but I was there and I didn't care how I looked, what body. And as I was coming to the line, I saw so many women and men as well walking out of breath, you know, like, and I'm like passing them by, like, I know I can do
Steady
that.
going.
And I just have stamina. And I think that's the good thing about me and running. I just have a stamina and I can just do it. It's just a non-stop stamina. And I don't follow sometimes the what do they say? Drink a lot of water. And I don't like drinking a lot of water during running because I start to feel fuller. But now, as I've been training for the marathon, I have now adapted to start drinking water probably after mile 5, mile 6. So I do it. Um, but you know, this marathon, um,
It's
I,
amazing. 26 miles? Oh my God,
well,
Myra.
you
But
know,
you're so right. I mean, you developed a way that fit for you. Your stamina, and it didn't matter what speed you were going, you were running and you finished it. And that's, really amazing for me. Like when I did the 5K, I started like 6 months beforehand and I
yeah,
was practicing and at the race, I had so much adrenaline
yeah.
that I running was actually easy, but at the end, I had developed injuries. So I actually injured my neck. I don't know how I did that. It was must have been a lot of I was all stressed out. So for 2 weeks after the run, I couldn't move my head. Yeah, it was so bad. And but I was like, I ran. I was like, I did it. I prepared myself. I practice, and I'm also a big girl, and I'm not. I like I said, I never was a runner before. Even when I was in my best athletics shape, I was doing a lot of sports. But I never developed when I was playing sports stamina, and it was really not my thing. I would just run and run, and then ready to pass out, you know?
Oh, you know what? Everybody will get injured. I've, I'm in Facebook groups of London marathoners that are going to be running this, and I have read a lot of sorry, posts of people deferring or people just injured and they can't do it. And we're talking about thin people. We're talking about very athletic people. So anyone can get injured. It doesn't matter how big or how small, or I think the body will just say, okay, I'm done, and that's it. And so it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody, and it happened to you. And when I did, when this isn't my first marathon, so I have to confess, this is my second marathon because the first one I didn't complete because I got injured. And the London Marathon of 2019, I was at my biggest weight as well. I only know it in kilos. I was 146 kilos. It's very big. And I had my sister fly all the way from California. She flew in,
Oh,
support me and my niece, and it was beautiful to see that. And I just couldn't continue. Also, it was very bad managed, so let's not get into that. And it really put me off. It put me off. I said, I'm never going to try to run the London Marathon. Never. It was just a horrible experience. In Warsaw, I had the most beautiful experience. London was the opposite marathon, but now 5 years later, they've changed the management. They've changed the way they are supporting slow runners, um, and so this was my decision to apply to charities because it's very hard to get in to run the London Marathon, to get a place. People, thousands and thousands of people every year go for it, and it's like a lottery. I mean, if you get in, it's like a jackpot. Um, so the only way I was able to get in was through charity by saying I will raise funds for your charity if you give me a place to run. And I applied to five, six of them. Women, a lot of like women in domestic violence or supporting children in domestic violence or any children charity. And I was accepted by Bernardo's, so which was very touching. Out of all the charities that I applied, it was only one, and I've been dedicated to raise funds for them and be thankful for this opportunity that they've given me.
absolutely. And anyone who is watching this podcast, I will put in the link for Myra's fundraising. So if you would like to donate for her and sponsor her during this run and support the charity, it will be listed here on our podcasts. And I really hope everyone will support you, Myra, because I am so impressed that you are doing this. And like you said, it's a lottery. You won the lottery to get into the London Marathon. And it's not an easy task. You are, a mother, and you're doing work and you're studying and you're doing so many things. And how do you find the time to even run, to practice, to train for this?
You know, I either I wake up very early in the morning at 5 a.m., which I failed, which I have failed times. I put the alarm clock at 5 and I just can't seem to get myself up the last few weeks. But if it's not then, it's after hours, and we're talking about like 8, 9, um, when my children are both asleep. And I know they're asleep, and that's it. My mother duties go aside because mother duties go first in general. Work goes first as well. Um, but I always find the time to kind of say, okay, so my mother duties are done. Let's get into it. Or if my husband can take care of the children on the weekend, which he has been, which I'm thankful that he's taken them in on Sundays while I go off and do runs.
Right.
And these are long runs. These are, I mean, for an average runner, they can be done in 2, 3 hours. For me, it's 5 hours, 6 hours. So I'm not a fast runner. And I saw a quote today. Um, it's better to be a slow runner than a no runner. And I, and I'd say that to myself a lot. And when I'm running and training outdoors, I'm, I get the smiles of runners, of others. They get the wave. I have probably come across one person who's very similar to my size. That was just last weekend, and it was my first attempt for 17 miles. I have never ran over 17 miles, and even 2 weeks ago, I ran the 14, and I had not ran over 13 miles since Warsaw of
My
2014. So when I cried. I cried.
God.
I cried that I could not believe. Sorry, I'm getting emotional.
That's okay. No, it's huge. It's really big, Myra. I mean, you went through so much. I know you personally, and having you to achieve something for yourself, it's like something that you should be, proud of yourself. And I'm proud of you for even, attempting that. And I can't imagine, how difficult it is for you to keep motivated. We were just talking this the other day how, you run into some teenagers who were rude to you
Oh
about
God.
your running. Yeah, and I'm like, what the heck? You don't deserve that. You are doing something that they would never achieve, really. So
Exactly.
it's amazing that you even gone 17 miles. Oh my God.
And
I can't even ride my bike for 17 miles. Wow.
no, last weekend was an experience that I will never forget. It's probably the last time I actually trained outdoors, as in long distance. And it was the first time I went through a route, and I actually planned it days. I was trying to find a way to get to this place called Grafton Waters, which is like a big reservoir. It's the third largest area in the United Kingdom. And it's not too far from me. It's about 4 miles. So I thought, instead, I didn't want to run on the main roadways because people drive like crazy here out in the country.
Right.
So I thought there has to be a way to get there. So I found what we call a public footpath, and it's actually through private properties of farms and everything like that. But they let you walk through, so through the outskirts of their area. So I actually ran all the way through the back way, all the way to get to this place. And I was alone for about 5 miles. I saw no one but one man with a dog. And it's a bit scary to run in places that you don't know. And it was my first time. And I think that's also the joy of running, is running in places that I've never been. And I just kind of take it in, nature. I take my headset off. I listen to the sounds. I listen to my breathing. I just enjoy nature. So I took that 17 miles. I thought, okay, I'm going to enjoy it. This is all new to me, and it was my first time running around there. And I regret. Well, now I know. Um, I went one direction towards around the whole perimeter of this lake or this reservoir, and I started seeing runners running the opposite direction. Many of them, and I thought, oh, okay, maybe it's easier. So
The other way.
And it turns out, yeah, of course, I was going uphill a
Oh
lot.
gosh. Oh
So
wow.
for 5 miles, I was going.
Wow.
It was like up and down and up, and I was like, "Oh my goodness! No wonder runners were going this direction." But it was a lesson learned, and I enjoyed it. And yeah, 17 miles. I also cried. I couldn't believe that's the furthest I've ever run in my life. So this weekend is 20. Um, that
Wow.
And I have a friend who'll join me, I think mile 14, 15, we said. So I have to plan it so I could end somewhere and enjoy a steak.
Oh my gosh. Wow. In a year, it's what? How many weeks? 3 more weeks you have to get ready for, right?
20, 24 days after today. So it is April 27th. It's on a Sunday. So yeah, just preparing just how I'll see my children after. Where will be the meeting spot because there won't be much reception towards the end. So And there's a lot of people come and cheer the London Marathon, and I'm looking forward to passing the 13th mile because I didn't pass the 13th mile the first time I went. I know what to expect. I know what I'm going to see. But I'm very excited. And for me, I don't get, there's people that say that they hit the wall from the 12th mile to the 19th mile. It's the hardest, but I'm finding it not so hard. I'm finding it, I just keep going. I put some good music on, and just as we were talking about good memories when we're running and things, I actually said to myself, I'm going to listen to the Polish playlist that I made. Well, I say Polish, but Polish, when I lived in Poland, I made a playlist of my
Oh,
music,
wow.
and I still had it on my Spotify. So I just played it, and it just took me back to Poland. I was thinking, oh wow, I really love this song then. I really love this song. So I just zoned out for 5 hours. That's what it took me, 5 hours on the dot, 17 miles. That's when I counted in, and I was so proud of myself. Yes, I was a little slower than I was expecting, but I was going uphill. Damn it!
Yeah, I
Don't give up.
know.
Don't
Oh my gosh, Myra, that like I said, you really inspire me. And I'm always making excuses not to run. I before we did the recording, I was complaining about my flat feet, which is a problem. It's nothing I can control, but it's something that stops me from continuing from running. And hearing you talk now and talking about your memories and taking care of yourself during that time, I'm like, I really need that. And I think a lot of people feel that way too. That's why there's so many people running, because it's a place for themselves.
I think a final note is that when you can get discouraged when you start seeing people running faster than you
That's
and
true.
they pass by. And I have experienced that a lot. And even in my training, they whiz past by me. And what I do is I stare at them. I'm thinking, okay, what are they doing that I'm not doing? And I try to keep and I'm thinking, okay, well, A, they're taking longer strides. B, they're taller than me. C, they're not carrying the weight that I have. D, they don't have big thighs like I do. And so I start to think, okay, well, I'm going to stay in this space and this is. But I think for anybody who wants to run, do not get discouraged about others and that you're too slow and that you are jogging and you're not walking and whatever your walking pace. Like I can be running and my husband says, "Oh, that's my walking pace." I don't care.
Sure.
I think the goal is your time, your pace. Ignore everybody else's pace. Ignore because everybody has their goal. Everybody has their vision of crossing a certain time. You have your time. Don't care about anybody else's time. If you have a friend who runs your pace, fine, join them. That's great. More friends, merrier. But if you're on your own, put something on. If it's not music, put a podcast. If it's not a podcast, put on the
Put
YouTube.
Armand podcast on there.
Put on our beautiful voices, uh,
Yes.
hearing us swear. Um, you know, just I mean, there was times I had to listen to YouTube because I was tired of listening to music, and I love music. So just do something good for yourself. And doesn't matter how long the distance, this is your own personal goal. This is your journey. Enough said.
I love it. Meyer, that's the perfectly said. This is something that we wanted to share with Minor Words After Dark is our life experiences. And you put it right there, do it for yourself. Ignore everybody else, and you will do the best that you can do. And there's nothing more important than that, actually. So, thank you everyone for watching us today. And, you know, please click on the link, give a donation for Myra, show her your support. And definitely when we come back on our podcast after the run, we'll take a little break, but I want to hear your experience, Myra, of the run, your thoughts, what you were thinking during the run, and how did you feel at the end when you finally finish it? So, I'm so looking forward to it, and you're great, Myra. Like I said, you inspired me to run, and I that's
Oh,
big. That's big, and I don't run.
yeah. Anybody could do it, and I can't wait to share my experience. And believe me, I'm going to pull out the Mexican flag. I'm sorry, but
Yes, gold. Yeah, I love that. Oh my gosh.
I got it ready. I have it ready. I want
Okay,
to start
you better share the picture. I want to see the picture when you have that Mexican flag out there.
dual.
All right, thanks everyone for watching, and don't forget to support Myra. See you next time.